Ahoy, and welcome back to another episode of the Captain's Log. My name's Rix Lee. I'm a systems thinker and strategic designer. I work with leadership and their teams to navigate change and lead through uncertainty. And there's certainly a lot of uncertainty in the world at the moment. It's a very interesting time to be alive and to witness what is going on out there in the world and how we as human beings are having to navigate through all this change and complexity, whether you're a business or even just personally. There's a lot of change and a lot of uncertainty. So this podcast is really it's actually pretty much my diary. I release one of these every week. It's actually just really been around me building discipline in content creation and leaving a little bit of a trail for somebody to find this maybe in 5 years' time. Hopefully I've gone places and I've grown as a person and in my career and whatever I'm doing at that time. But I do have a vision for where I'd like to get to, and hopefully I'm there by then. But in any case, I'm enjoying the journey and I'm really enjoying the learning process. I've just kind of been trying to work out my lighting in here just to kind of improve things. And one thing that I will tell you about doing this podcast weekly is that I really have learned how to get really quick at putting content out there. It used to take me quite some time to plan things. I used to get quite a lot of anxiety around recording, putting stuff out, even just, the whole process around editing content, doing the audio and all of that stuff. So over this is now I think this is episode 17 of the Captain's Log. So over the last 17 weeks, I've dramatically improved and become a lot more efficient with my process, which has been seriously, it's like priceless what that's been able to teach me, and it's actually overflowing into other areas of my business, which I did not expect at all. Now I have momentum. I don't think anyone's ever really going to see these videos. Like, they're not something that I'm like trying to actively get people to come and look at. I'm not making shorts. I'm not putting these on Instagram, social media, or anything like that. What I have focused on content-wise is really the Design on Purpose podcast. So I had like 5 episodes that I had on my hard drive, and I hadn't released them. And to be honest, I had a lot of resistance around that Design on Purpose podcast because it takes so much effort and energy to not only record, but to edit the content, to make the reels, to ship the post, to make all the cover art, everything. It's such a huge process to actually go through to actually get those things on, that I just thought I was having a lot of resistance to actually make that happen. So what I've actually done is I was on a flight the other day. I just started editing one of the podcasts, and then that one was done, and then I just started getting in a flow with it, where now I've actually got a little bit obsessive about it, and now I've got I've shipped 2 in the last 2 weeks. I meant to record a solo one today. I wanted to go out to some rice fields out in Chengdu, but it was pouring with rain, so I'm going to probably leave that until tomorrow or Tuesday. As soon as there's a break, I'm going to head outdoors and get the solo podcast done, because I'm now that episode will be episode 31 of the Design on Purpose podcast. I've got episode 32 and 33 scheduled and ready and loaded on YouTube and Spotify. And then I've got episode 35, which I recorded 34, which I recorded last week with Welcome Felipe. Really cool artist, Brazilian artist. Here runs a cafe, co-working art space here in Chengdu. So chat with him, and that one, I'm probably going to edit that today, actually. I'll probably do that straight after this. Once this one's out, I'll just edit that and get that loaded up. So I'm now going to kind of flow with it, and then I've started booking guests in for the following weeks, because now that I'm ahead, what I'm hoping to do is actually get one of those out a week. And I've developed some systems around that podcast as well, which has actually enabled me to get that out really, really, really quickly. And it's all thanks to the Captain's Log, because through the Captain's Log, I have worked out some systems for getting very, very quick with my content creation. And I think that is the one thing that I think is a very valuable thing is speed. And I was watching something once around Andy Warhol, and I think it's Michael Basquiat. I always get the name wrong, and this is terrible as an artist, but it's is it Basquiat? You say Basquiat? I know this is really bad. I'm having yes, Basquiat, John Michael Basquiat, artist, right? Amazing artist. There was something about this. I remember seeing a story where he was hanging out with Andy Warhol, and then he went home, and then he painted all night, and then he came back the next day and presented Andy Warhol with this painting. And Andy Warhol was blown away by the art, how good it was, but also by the speed of it. So it's like, I think there's a real thing around speed and just being able to get things out quickly. Like, there's one thing to have ideas and to be creative, but I think it's like the relevance, keeping things relevant, keeping the speed, being able to do things efficiently. Like, even like you have a look at like TV shows like South Park, for example, like that they were so quick that they were so inappropriate. It was like, ooh, too soon, South Park. But I think that's what made them so good. They had a system in place where they were able to actually produce content and produce shows at a rapid speed. So things were like in context, they were relevant, and the energy isn't blocked. It's able to keep flowing. So this has kind of like been one of my learnings this week, really. So the real thing is around. So I'll go into some points around those and kind of synthesize what my learnings were around those things. So I think the first thing is around moving energy. So I think like I've been blocked, especially with this leadership community, because I had these podcasts that were blocked, sitting in a hard drive, not being loaded up, and they're just sitting there. So like now that I've got them moving, now there's like energy flowing there, and now I feel really more excited about what I'm doing with this community. And I think I can really see now how it all kind of ties together. And now I'm in a rhythm and a workflow, and I've got a really nice process, and it's just like I feel like things are now moving. So I think it's all just really about like keep the energy moving. If you feel stuck, just do something. Do the thing that you're inspired to do at that moment. Just keep. It's going to unlock the next thing, and as you kind of chip away at that, I think the movement will start happening. It'll be exponential. So that's kind of where I feel like I'm at right now in my process. The next thing is like what I'm really focusing on right now is getting good. So I think you got to get good, then you got to get fast, and then you got to set it up so that it can get done without you. So you got to automate. So this is where I'm focusing. I think I'm somewhere between getting good. I think I have a long way to go. I'm nowhere near where I want to be or need to be, and I totally acknowledge that. I think the podcast as well, like some of the videos are out. There's always some issue, whether it's with the audio or one camera or the lighting or something. So I do acknowledge that the Design on Purpose podcast is not perfect. It's raw. I'm filming with 2 iPhone cameras and this Sony here that I'm filming this on. So it's not graded properly. It's all out, right? But I kind of like that because it's a little bit more indie, and it's a little bit more like you can tell that I'm literally traveling around with a gym bag of podcasting gear, and it is what it is at the time. It's kind of like I'm slowly improving things as I go. Like I got this portable light here, which is really helping, but I'd like to upgrade the cameras and get everything kind of looking a bit more schmick. But this is how I'm rolling for the moment. But right now I'm really focusing on getting good. So get good, then get fast, then I'm going to automate. And I have actually created some nice automations and process, even just with my podcast, artwork, how I set up my files and all of that. So I'm kind of getting SOPs together and working that all out at the moment. So we're going to get there. The next thing I learned, this is so good. So the next thing I learned is that the word learned has the word earned in it. I wrote this down on a post-it note the other day, learned, and then I looked at the word and I was like blown away. I was like, wow, the word learned is literally the word earned. It's learned. It's you earn the learning. And I think this is so true, right? It's like we actually have to go through the challenge and get through that difficulty in order to get that knowledge that challenge brings to us. It's actually a learning, and it's an earned, you've acquired some knowledge, you've earned that knowledge and that learning through dealing with that challenge and moving on to the next stage. You know, and I think that like a lot of the times we don't start things because we're worried about that we don't know the thing. But actually, you learn the thing and you get good at the thing by doing the thing. So my capoeira mestre used to say to me, Rix, if you want to get good at capoeira, play capoeira. And that's so true. It's like, and that's a really great culture, the capoeira culture, because a really good mestre, a really good graduado would play really nice capoeira with anybody. Doesn't matter what the level that the person is. A person could be their first day, and someone who's really good at capoeira will play a nice game with them. You know what I mean? But the only way that you're going to learn is actually just by getting in there and doing and failing and being quick with how you respond to that failure and how you actually take that learning and adapt that learning and turn it into wisdom. And that wisdom which will help you inform your decisions that you make and how you actually proceed from then on. And so, I think if you're thinking about starting something or you're worried that you don't have the skills, I really believe that you've just got to start. You've just got to get moving and do the thing. And just by doing the thing, you're going to learn. You're going to acquire those skills. You're going to earn those skills through actually going through the process. Like, even with this podcast, like there's so many little things that you got to kind of learn to do this. But there's no way I'd be able to learn this stuff if I didn't just start doing it. And I'm constantly making improvements. I'm learning about even just the way that I speak. I'm learning about lighting. I'm learning about editing. I'm learning about copywriting. I mean, I don't script this podcast, but, I do have a discipline now around once a week reflecting on what I've learned for the week, which is really helping me to integrate my learning into my life. And I love it too, because I take my phone and I just take my keyboard, my Mac keyboard, and I hook it up to my phone, leave my computer here, usually rendering some video or something. And then I'll pop down to the gym or the cafe, and I'll just open up my Notion second brain template that I've made, and I'll start writing my my journal in there, my 3 things I learned, which I've got this template set up, and then 5 things that went well. And yeah, those are my learnings this week, guys. And like, if you haven't seen the Design on Purpose podcast, I haven't talked about it too much on these. And I mean, obviously, I don't have a following on this channel. But the Design on Purpose podcast is seriously, I think it could be something pretty unique and special. I mean, it is, but it's only going to get better. Like, it's quite unique because I've got this mobile setup. I'm going out to people's places, like into their environments, and actually filming this podcast in their environment. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of like this, like, human terrarium, like podcast terrarium situation, like very unique characters. And I meet some really interesting people. Like I don't know. It's kind of always been a thing where I've had these interactions with really quirky, interesting people. Maybe I'm a bit quirky, but so I'm this is a great opportunity for me to actually share this with people, because I don't think people have interactions with people the way that I do. I kind of have this funny thing. My friends and I often laugh about it. But anyway, so I've got some great podcasts coming. So the link to the Design on Purpose podcast is actually in the description, and I do go over and check it out. I've put a lot of work into the channel. The artworks look great. and subscribe to the channel because it does help me to grow the podcast. And the next podcast I've got coming out is with a roller skating, was a UK champion, artistic roller skating champion. And then I've got another episode which is coming out after that, which is actually with a guy that makes bots, automations and bots, and he's doing some crazy stuff where he's basically just automating all these companies. Like, it's just him and mailing lists and bots. It's pretty wild. Very interesting guy, mastermind. So the 5 things that went well, covered a little bit of it there, but I've released 2 podcasts in 2 consecutive weeks, which I haven't done in a really long time. With the Design on Purpose podcast, there's been a real block there for me, but now it's flowing, and so I'd love to see if I can get to 100 episodes on Design on Purpose. I mean, consecutive episodes. They reckon that I was doing a little bit of research the other day. I mean, I think it's like 99% of podcasts that fail, right? The ones that keep going, and like the statistics are a little bit varied depending on where you're looking, but it's something like, it's like, let's say it's between 95 and 99% of podcasts fail. The ones that keep going, and this is my understanding of the statistic, but if you know more, if you give it, then do right below. But this is what I've gathered, right? Of the ones that continue, only something like 10% or something make it to like, was it? No, I think it was like 6% or something make it to 50 episodes, and then like 3%, no, 10% make it to 50 episodes, 6% make it to 100 episodes, and then like 3% make it to 200 episodes, something like that. So it's like the odds are not stacked in your favor for podcasting. It is so much work. It's a really long game, and people don't really realize what they're getting in for when they start doing a podcast. And it is like, when you think about, I think Stephen Bartlett might have like 8 people or so. Like, he's got a team at least. Like one person works full time on just booking guests for the podcast. Like, that's their job. I'm doing all these things. I'm doing the graphic design. I'm doing the podcasting. I'm doing the scheduling, location finding. I'm putting all the artwork together. I'm posting all the stuff. So it's a lot of work, and I'm loving it, and I'm finding that I'm getting better. Really, like, I'm improving a lot in just the speed at which I can get these things out. All the prompts that I've created to like help me get it all together, it's just epic. So cool what you can do with AI. So yeah, I recorded a podcast with Welcome Felipe at Mimpi Cafe here in Canggu. Amazing space. Felipe is amazing. Beautiful environment that he's created there. Such a great guy. Beautiful art he's making over there. Dramatically changed his life. Moved from Brazil, living in a stressful environment, stressful life, moving to Bali, building his dream, making art. Just amazing. Love this guy. The third thing that went well is that my client, Cappuccinos, Graham Hill and team in Cappuccinos in Botswana, released their menu. They've been working so hard. These guys have been working so hard to get this menu out. So many bits and pieces involved in redoing the menu, and I just want to say a big congratulations to Graham Hill and the team at Cappuccinos Botswana for getting your menu out there. I know you guys put a lot of work into that, and a big congratulations. Another thing that went well is that I've updated my Notion templates for podcast creation. So I've created a really nice workflow and podcasting templates, scheduling templates, and a kind of dashboard, so I know what's been posted, what's been scheduled, what's been edited, what's been filmed. Working very well. And then I'm feeling like I'm getting into a very good rhythm with life at the moment. I love this little hack of just hooking up my keyboard to my phone and just dipping out to a cafe or the gym and just writing, just spending time reflecting and being light. Just, the keyboard weighs nothing. Leave my computer here and turn off all my notifications. I block my apps on my phone. And they're only open a few windows. So if I desperately need to turn it on to deal with something on the podcast, but other than that, they're off. And I just sit there and have a cup of coffee, black coffee, and write my reflections for the week, any ideas I have. I'm still missing my moleskin. I left my moleskin in my mum's car when I went to visit Sydney a couple of weeks ago, and that I'm lost without that. I need to get that back. I love writing with pen and paper. And I can't just start a new one because for the last 12 years I've had these moleskins like dated from like January 2009 to like to the next month with the year, and then the next one starts with the month and the year. So it's like there's a sequence to them, and I just don't want to break that. So I'm waiting for my mum to send me my my moleskin. So come on, Mum, send me the moleskin. My diary. So yeah, so that's it, right? So everything is going well. Working on. Here's the other thing. I've been on the meal plan, and not that weight is a big thing for me. Obviously, it doesn't mean too much, because but it is interesting to me. I've been on this meal plan for I don't know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Very regimented. I eat 6 egg white omelets and spinach every morning at 9 a.m. And I have pretty much boiled chicken and rice and veggies for the rest of the meals. I have them at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. and I have a shake at 3 p.m. every day. Same thing. On Friday, though, they do give me a little bit of steak with some pineapple. But I'm down to 6 for the first time in since I can remember. Like I'm 39 years old. And December last year, I was 83 kilos. So this year is just been about shedding and everything in my life that doesn't serve me, looking after my health, just completely reevaluating things. And I'm now at 69 kilos. So, I obviously, like I said, it's not a big factor, but it's just like, wow, I just can't remember the last time that I've been in the 60s. So the meal plan is working. Obviously, that's not the driver to lose weight. It's really just about looking good and feeling good and being strong and being healthy and being, having good mobility. But that kind of blew me away. So yeah, so that's it. So lots of wins this week, and do keep an eye out for the Design on Purpose podcast. I really want to launch a solo one next week, and then from there they should come out. They'll be consecutive. I've got them loaded for Monday morning, Sydney time. I think they should come out at 7 a.m. Sydney time every Monday morning from the 30th of December. That's the plan. If you have any ideas for that, do get in touch. If you want to suggest a guest or somebody, I only do them in person. And the other thing is, I know it's not open yet, but do go and sign up to the leadership community. The link is in the description in this video or on the Spotify description. And join the leadership. I'll be giving away the second brain template. I've got some workshop stuff for designing your life and designing 2025 coming in there. And there's more to come. Once these podcasts are edited and up, that's going to be where I then shift my focus. And I look forward to opening that up and supporting some of you guys with all this uncertainty and all this change that's going on, and helping you to lead a life that's in line with your purpose. And that's it from me. Keep on doing those things that help you and support you to stay grounded and well. Look after yourself, guys, and I'll see you next week. Hold fast.